Yo, welcome to the 20Twice podcast. I always appreciate everybody who checks out this podcast. We're doing something different, doing little interview things and, just trying to do something different, man. Bring something different, to this whole podcast thing. I'm new to this thing and I'm trying to get better every time I get out here, man. So I appreciate people to take their time out to listen to this podcast. It's a million podcasts out there and I may be exaggerating, but it's a lot of podcasters out there, man. And when somebody take the time to listen to mine, I really appreciate it, and this is basically the Father's Day edition, you know what I mean? The Father's Day podcast that I've been wanting to do for a while. I think maybe it's been like a year that I've been trying to figure out how I can get it together and how can I get it taped and how can I get everybody to get their opinion and real opinion. And I thought that this was the best way to do it. And I got four guys that came over here and I appreciate that they taking their time. Friends and family that came on this show, man, fathers that came on the show, real fathers, not the fathers that just show up, just to take pictures, on Father's Day, real fathers that, really care about how everything goes. And I can't say that if you're not in your kid's life that you don't care. I know we got a lot of fathers that, maybe can't get it, can't do this, can't be there, you know what I mean? And I get that part and that work and a lot of stuff, and I get it. Different households, I get it. And that's the reason why I'm having this thing. So, so we can start a dialogue and, people think the inside thoughts of fathers if you don't, if you're not there. So you can, maybe the mom would like to hear. Maybe she didn't know, maybe she didn't think of this stuff like that. Or, maybe your wife want to hear, whatever it is, man. I just want to have something where people can listen to and be like, oh, man, that's cool. That's a Father's Day edition. Now, when I started this thing, I didn't think it was going to take that long. I didn't think it was going to be, I got guys that I interview, and each interview was about 18 to 20 minutes, some a little bit longer. But I wanted to make sure that I gave them ample time to get their opinion out and get their thoughts out and their feeling. And now, everybody I got on here, you may not agree with their thoughts. You may not, but that's not what this is for. This ain't about to agree with them. This is about having an open dialogue to be able to see people do different stuff and people go do different things. But ultimately, I think that we all trying to get to the same goal and have our kids be successful and want to make sure that our kids be safe. So, like I said, this podcast, I love this podcast. I say that, a lot because, it gave me the ability to get stuff off my chest when I first started. And, when I first started, it was more about, hey, let's talk about what's going on in the world. And I think we all know what's going on in the world. But, some stuff we just need to talk about. I mean, we don't have that open dialogue. And when I first started this thing and people started listening to our podcast, there's some people come up to me and be like, hey, man, what about this? And what about that? And I was like, man, I didn't even think about it that way. So I think it just opens up the dialogue to just have, when you have disagreements, if I give you a time, I respect your time and I respect your opinion. Maybe if we both do that, maybe we can get to a common ground to where we both can understand each other. But I think when I don't give you your time and then you don't give me my time, then we never will get to where we do. So this is what this show about. And like I said, I'm just doing this one part because I got four guys on here that I appreciate that took their time. Four fathers on here. Let me not say guys, four fathers on here. Four real fathers. Some got kids that graduated from college. Some real fathers that put the time in and work in, what I mean? And so I appreciate everybody's time. I do like to have a quote. I love quotes, man. Quotes inspire me. I don't know about everybody else, but quotes for me, I mean, I love them, man. They, I like to hear them. So every episode, every guest that I had on, I put a Father's Day quote in each of those, and so, we're going to have four Father's Day quote, but, hey, why don't I just give you five, you know what I mean? So let me read this one to you. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. And think about that. You always want to have a father's protection. You know what I mean? You think about when you was little, like, man, but in my case, it's a little bit different. My mom was kind of doing both things. You know what I mean? I never seen my father, so it was a little different for me. But, to have that protection, I could tell my daughter likes to have that father's protection. You know what I mean? So let me read it again so you can get into it. You know what I mean? Just a little set the mood, you know what I'm saying? So like it says, I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need a father's protection. You know what I mean? Just to have that father's protection, man. So I think that's big, you know what I mean? Everybody, most people I know, like, hey, to have that father's protection is pretty cool. So like I said, man, I don't want to go too long with this, but I just want to say I got a couple of guys that's coming on, fathers that's coming on, that's going to speak their truth and going to tell you how they feel about being a father and, going through that thing. So I appreciate everybody that's going to listen to it, that probably will listen to it. And I said, the 20Twice podcast, we here, man, and we want to be real and we want to make sure we have something that's cool. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you.